Hey guys, it's Paul with FHF Gear. We're here to go over our sling and pack attachment setup. This is a product we want to make sure you install it correctly and get it done well ahead of your hunt. That way you have time to test it out, make any adjustments needed, and make sure you have a comfortable setup for your hunt. We're going to go over multiple different packs, show you different ways to attach it on those pack systems, as well as try and show you multiple ways you can attach to the same pack system, depending on your body type, your rifle, and how you like to run it. To get that started, we're going to go over specifically the components that will come with your sling and pack attachment kit. All right, first things first, you're going to have the padded sling itself, which will include the tri-glides on both ends, as well as the quick adjust feature and the main body of the sling. You are also going to have the two 1-inch swivels that you'll need to install, the lower pack attachment strap, the upper pack attachment strap, a female buckle that will attach to your sling itself, as well as a keeper that will help keep that sling on your shoulder. All right, so first things first, when you get this sling, you want to make sure your swivels are attached to the sling itself. Both upper and lower have these 1-inch tri-glides, so you will open that up, install your swivel, and then go back up through the plastic tri-glide. For extra security, we recommend you actually go back through the bottom end of that to really lock that in. You're going to repeat that process on the upper side, and then you can make the adjustments on that based on how you want it to sit, and we'll kind of go over that later. One note on the upper side, this side's done. If you find that this is very close to the sling, and once you install this, you're going to end up with a buckle here and a male buckle here. If you find that that interferes at all with that buckle, one alternative method of attachment on this upper side would be to just flip this over. It works exactly the same. You're just going to flip your sling over and attach this exactly like we just did. That way, when this is attached, the swell of that webbing is actually down instead of up, and it will limit any interference you might get. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is attach this directly to the rifle. So use your swivels, attach them to your swivel studs on the rifle. The length of these pieces, upper and lower, will really depend on your height, as well as the length between your swivel studs on your rifle and where you want this pad to sit on your shoulder. So depending on your rifle, where that will go. One recommendation we have would be to install this with this quick adjust feature centered up in this webbing. That way, once you get this on and adjusted, you'll be able to go up or down, tightening or loosening that quick adjust as you wear it, and depending on your circumstance. All right, the next step is going to be, if you want to use the sling as a standalone, you won't need it, but to attach it directly to your pack, you're going to want to install this buckle. This quick attach female buckle can attach anywhere on the top of this sling. It really will depend on where the bend in your sling is and where that breaks over your shoulder and what pack you're using. So you may want to play with the adjustment here, but to get that installed, you can see on the back side of this, there's these wings that allow you to install it. I'm going to put it on the upper piece here. You install the long piece first, slides in underneath that strip, and then the lower piece goes in behind it. The second half is going to be a little bit harder. Work the long end in, and then work the bottom end, the shorter wing in first. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll use a little tool. In this case, I just have an Allen wrench sitting here, but something that's not sharp, and you can work that lower or shorter wing in so that sits in there. These bar tacks prevent that buckle from moving up and down. And once again, you just kind of will have to play with it. Everybody will be different, but where that sits in there will depend where you attach that. All right, so once you have this buckle attached, The sling is going to be a standalone sling just like it is. You can use it as it is, but to attach it to your pack, you're going to want to imagine that your pad is going to follow the silhouette of your normal backpack shoulder strap. And you're going to want that pad to break over the top of your shoulder with that buckle still facing up. You don't want it facing down all the way over your shoulder, or, you know, all in front of your shoulder, so the weight is up on this thin piece. So basically envision that as how it's going to sit on your backpack. The upper attachment strap is going to attach directly to that buckle, and depending on your rifle, your body type, what you have in your pack, so many variables to even go over. I can't go over them all, but that is going to attach directly to your backpack from here, or depending on what's comfortable for you, it can go around the rifle itself and attach back to the pack, giving you a little different attachment options. So that's the upper strap. On the bottom, the lower attachment strap is going to form a circle around the heel drop, below the heel drop of your rifle. So this can attach just like this, go either direction. So it doesn't matter which direction the buckle's facing, but you'll want this piece of webbing against your rifle to prevent any scratching or anything. Then that can be adjusted to tighten up and hold the weight of your rifle up off your shoulder. So you're going to tighten that up. Once you have an idea of how that works, you're going to lay your pack down on its side, lay your rifle on there, and kind of get an idea of where you're going to want to attach those on your pack. All right, we're going to start off with an EXO pack. This is the K3 frame and the 3200 pack. We will go through multiple ways to attach that top attachment strap to this pack. So on one end of this upper attachment strap is this slick clip, and just showing you how this works. This is going to go push through the webbing. You're going to close it by squeezing it shut, and using this tooth you're going to cam that open, and you can open it to remove it. So on this EXO, this upper attachment strap is going to attach using that slick clip, and there's multiple attachment points here. There's a few that we recommend, but multiple options and so many variables I can't go over them all. I like personally to attach mine to this upper piece of webbing and then go direct to my sling direct from there. Some of the other guys that have used this sling actually like to go around the rifle, and will attach it either to the side compression strap here, or I've seen it done right on this strap, or even inside the upper loop where this cord lock is attached. So multiple options. I've even seen it done to the handle. So you can have to pick what's comfortable for you and where your rifle sits, and attach that in a spot that works for you. All right, on this Stone Glacier bag, there's multiple attachment points as well. In this case, I in particular like to attach it to this upper webbing loop that's present on this bag in particular. It attaches there direct down to the rifle. But you can go multiple ways on any of this webbing on their bivy mode or down to the upper compression strap. You can find an attachment point here in multiple places and figure out what's going to work best for you. Okay, this is an older Mystery Ranch frame. Again, multiple different attachment points that you can use. Upper loops you can attach directly here. You could attach to this one inside that buckle. Different compression straps. Find what works for you. One of the ways that works really well is to actually go around this upper frame extension and then clip back to itself. That way the webbing is held up high and still inboard to help contain your rifle and pull it into your body. So figure out what's going to work for you. Okay, we're going to go into ways you can attach the bottom strap on this pack attachment kit. So again, it creates a circle that goes around the under that heel drop on your rifle. It has a normal piece of webbing as well as a slick clip attached that you'll do just like you did on the upper. All right, so on the EXO, there's multiple different ways you can attach this. If you want your rifle stock a little more forward than back, you can actually run through this piece of belt loop here and run that through, and then this ends up sitting at an angle, slid back, and holds your rifle right there. Another option, in fact, how I do it on this pack, is to attach this through this exposed piece of frame. We're going to actually do a different video and show you a close-up of how I do that. Another option would be to use the slit clip and just clip directly into this lower compression strap in here. Holds it back further on the pack and will work real well. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you, you'll have to imagine this dowel rod being the exposed piece of frame on that EXO that I just showed you. You're going to slide this around that frame underneath and then actually clip this back to itself. Once you lock that in, that piece will slide around and then stay locked on so that it will hold your rifle back right up against that frame. All right, on this Stone Glacier pack, there's a couple different ways you can attach it depending on how you want it and the height you want your buckle and where your rifle will be sitting. One of the ways we like the best would be to use the slit clip and attach it directly behind the ladder lock. Again, upper or lower one would work, depends on where you want it and what's comfortable for you. Another option would be to use that slit clip and attach it to that lower compression strap right here. Alternatively, if you don't use the slit clip at all, you can just feed that buckle through this piece of Cordura on this X-curve waist belt, and you're going to go around that and use that to secure that bottom strap and hold your rifle in place. All right, so here we have a Mystery Ranch waist belt, and really this would work well on any MOLLE compatible waist belt. Using your slit clip, you can just pick which loop you want to attach it to, and it attaches it directly where you want it. That's probably the easiest and most simple way to do it. If those are not placed where you want them, or that MOLLE doesn't go back far enough on your pack, you can look for another compression strap to attach to, one of the lower compression straps or pieces of webbing down at the bottom. Okay, the last piece we want to show you is our slick keeper here, which will be attached the same way on any pack that you've got, as long as there's a 1-inch vertical piece of webbing on the shoulder strap. Really what I like to do is once the rifle is set up and you've got it set up on your pack, you're going to see where that sling sits on your shoulder pad. That's going to help you determine where on the 1-inch webbing that you're going to attach that clip. This one's already attached, and I like to do it so that it attaches directly through one of these openings on the side. It's slicker, easier in and out. Really, this is an optional piece. This is put on there to help hold that shoulder pad in place once it's on, but it works fine without it. But it's one of those things that kind of really adds to the usefulness of the sling. Okay, to attach this keeper, you can see the bottom has got a split bar on the bottom. You're going to want to make sure that opening that faces out is going to be facing inbound so that your sling is going to be held on your pack. So it's going to go on like that. On this 1-inch piece of webbing, it can be tricky depending on the webbing that's on your pack, but you're going to slide that webbing up inside there and then either bend the webbing like this to slide that in, and then that's installed. You can slide that up and down. If you have to use a tool, you can do that as well. And there's a little flexibility in these hinges here, so if you need to open that up, you can get it in there easier. All right, we're going to go over how to actually attach the rifle to the pack itself once you have the system attached. And you're going to start by laying your pack on its side and laying that rifle right on the side of your pack where you want it. All right, so once you have your rifle sitting on the side of your pack, again, like we mentioned before, you're going to want to do this prior to your hunt. And we recommend you do this with stuff in your pack. Don't try and do this on an empty pack and then expect it to fit the same or attach the same when you actually are on your hunt and you have things in there. So we have our pack loaded up, and we're going to attach this upper strap to the buckle. If you are going around the buckle, you're going to loosen this buckle, or I'm sorry, going around the rifle, you're going to loosen this buckle up and go around and attach. I have the extra webbing all pulled up with the keeper that comes with it, but in this case, I'm going directly to the buckle. On the lower end, you're going to pull this buckle around and get a nice tight fit, again, right below the heel drop of your rifle, and that will help hold the weight of that rifle up off of your shoulder. What I like to do is adjust this sling so you can tighten it or loosen it, match that profile of your shoulder strap roughly, from we can tighten it up later. And again, what I like to do is kind of give that a quick attachment here using that keeper so that kind of becomes one unit. And to shoulder the pack, I like to just put my hand under there, and we'll go over kind of how to shoulder that pack and then get that final adjustment once you're wearing it. All right, once you get your backpack on, you're going to want to obviously buckle your waist and sternum straps, and then any slack or tightness in the sling, you're going to want to adjust using the quick adjust. This is again why we recommend you get this all set up with that tri-glide set up kind of in the middle of that adjustment range. So I like to adjust that so that it kind of matches the tightness of my shoulder strap. But the weight of the rifle is still held with this lower buckle. So as you can see, this lower buckle is attached down here. I have easy access to it. Upper buckle is attached right to the top. I have kind of a level direction from that buckle to the pack. You could go slightly up. You don't really want it going down. From there, again, I have easy access to both buckles. I can dismount the rifle easily, and I can adjust the tension of that depending on what I need throughout the day. You can see how secure it is. There's really not any movement of the sling. You can jump over obstacles, do whatever you need to, and not have to always have your thumb in that sling because it just stays right where you put it. All right, moving into dismounting the rifle, there's no correct order of operations. From here, if you're moving in on something and want to start getting ready, or if you need to do all this at once, like I said, it doesn't matter which buckle goes first. I like to do the bottom one first so that I still have security up top, but I'm one step closer to being completely free of it. Secondly, you do that upper buckle. The only thing holding it on at this point is this keeper, which will flex and you can undo very quickly. From there, it's quick and easy to dismount the rifle, re-sling it however you want to do it. If you want to dump your pack, you can re-sling in an alternate way and or reattach that keeper. Most people can still reach this buckle up top and reattach that buckle, but to do the bottom one, we really recommend you wait until you have time to take your pack off, reattach it, and make sure all that is supported completely. All right, we've gone over installation and adjustment of the sling. A couple things I want to make sure to note here is that you really don't have to use all of these pieces if you don't want to. Obviously, it can be used as a standalone sling, but if you just want to use the top attachment, that can be done. I know a lot of people that do that. The clip definitely can be used independently. Play with it and figure out what you like. Additionally, things to be aware of are that the adjustment of that sling, typically for me, it's just this quick adjust feature, but if your pack load changes significantly, you may have to make some adjustments. If you're packing meat or doing a bivvy hunt versus a day hunt, things could change slightly, and you may want to adjust those just to fit you better. Really, there's so much variability in all the different packs and rifles. It really becomes a balancing act of trying to get all of these adjustments done correctly so that you get the most comfortable fit for your rifle. Lastly, talking about balance, if you have a bipod attached to the front of your rifle, it does change the center of gravity of your rifle, and potentially if that is too tight, it could be pushing into your shoulder. Again, just make those adjustments, figure out what's going to work for you. You may have to go up or down depending on what attachments you have on your rifle. If you have any questions or concerns once you get the sling and need help, we're here to help you. So just call or email into the shop and we'll definitely get you taken care of. Thanks for watching.